Air pollution is a major problem that affects our world. In this lesson, we are going to learn about air pollution. Air pollution refers to the release of smoke or other harmful gases into the air around us. As air is very important to life on Earth, introducing these harmful substances into the air can affect the lives of living organisms such as plants and animals. Air pollution has been a major problem in our world for a long time now. The source of these harmful substances can sometimes be traced to human activities such as burning of bush and other items, release of harmful industrial gases from our factories, the release of dust from stone quarries, and many more. Sometimes these substances are also as a result of natural events. Erupting volcanoes emit a lot of smoke and toxic substances into the atmosphere. Dust storms can also release a lot of dust into the atmosphere. Wildfires in forests can also be a source. Pollutant is a term used generally to refer to these harmful substances that affect our environment. They can also be harmful to human health. A pollutant is something that is produced, as we have seen, by human beings or from natural sources. Pollutant contains toxic or poisonous substances which affect the environment or our lives. Let's take a look at some common pollutants, where they come from and how they affect our environment. We start with carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide is emitted from certain vehicles or engines. It may also come up by using charcoal burnt in charcoal stoves. Ovens that use coal or wood can also release carbon monoxide. Certain portable generators also emit carbon monoxide when they burn fuel. Carbon monoxide can affect life on Earth. It can reduce the amount of oxygen that humans take in from the atmosphere. When taken in, it can cause pain in the chest of human beings. Lead is another common pollutant. Lead pollutant can be obtained from lead acid batteries, lead smelters, which are the places where people process lead, or aviation fuel that contains lead in it. Lead is also harmful to life. When taken in, it can damage the nervous system such that it affects our ability to memorize or learn. It can also increase the risk of obtaining high blood pressure or even cause damage to parts of the kidney in adults. Nitrogen dioxide is also a popular pollutant. It is normally obtained from the combustion of fuel to produce electricity. Boilers in big industries or factories, emissions from vehicles, gases that are released when wood is burned. Nitrogen dioxide can affect the lungs or cause lung diseases to worsen when taken in. It can also increase the risk of obtaining certain respiratory infections such as cold, influenza, bronchitis, or coughing. Sulfur dioxide is also another pollutant. Sulfur dioxide can be obtained when one burns sulfur coal. It may also be obtained from industries or factories. It is also commonly emitted from developing volcanoes. Sulfur dioxide as a pollutant can make it difficult to breathe. It can also worsen the conditions of asthmatic patients. Sulfur dioxide can irritate the nose or throat when taken in. It can also cause coughing or wheezing. Chlorofluorocarbons, also known as CFCs, are a group of compounds which contain chlorine, fluorine, and carbon elements. They are usually a collection of gases which evaporate very easily. They are very dangerous to life and must be disposed of well. They are usually used in coolant from older refrigerators, air conditioners, or cars. They can reduce the amount of oxygen that reaches the body's organs or tissues. CFCs affect our atmosphere by causing a depletion of the ozone layer that protects our atmosphere from the harmful effect of the sun. There is something called acid rain, which is also harmful to life on Earth. Acid rain refers to rains that fall with some acidic content in it. Acid rain is caused when acid mixed with air or water particles in the atmosphere. Sulfur dioxide, which we just looked at, is one of the sources of acids that mixed with rain. Carbon dioxide and oxides of nitrogen also form acids in the atmosphere. The sources of these oxides can be natural, such as volcanoes, or artificial sources, such as emissions from our factories or industries. Let's look at some of the sources of acid rain. Gases that cause acid rain may come from man-made sources such as factories, power plants, burning of coal in our homes, emissions from vehicles, or burning oil that has sulfur in it. These gases can also come from natural sources such as gas emissions from volcanoes, gases that come from rotten vegetation, or nitrogen compounds that are released during lighting in the atmosphere. Acid rains can be very damaging. It can end the lives of insects or other aquatic animals because the water they use becomes acidic. It can also lead to some form of corrosion on buildings because of the acidic content. It can cause damage to plants or trees because of the acid. It can also affect humans who may drink such water that contains acid. There is a popular term known as the greenhouse effect. Let's see what this term means. The greenhouse effect occurs when certain gases in the atmosphere or the air around us takes up infrared radiation. This causes our planet to become warmer or have temperatures rise higher. The greenhouse effect is a term that is used because it is similar to what happens in a normal greenhouse made of glass to support plant life. Gases that cause the greenhouse effect include water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and ozone. The greenhouse effect is important for life on Earth. It ensures that the Earth's temperatures are always warm enough to sustain life. Without the greenhouse gases, temperatures would go down below freezing point. This will cause the entire Earth to freeze into what we popularly call an ice age. Let's look at what we mean by global warming. Global warming comes about when the greenhouse effect becomes stronger such that the temperatures become warmer and warmer. Global warming therefore refers to a slow, gradual rise in the average temperature of the Earth. What does global warming cause? Global warming, as we said, can cause the temperatures of the Earth to rise. This may cause floods to happen more frequently in various parts of the world. It can also cause our normal weather patterns or climate to change. Global warming can cause forests to be lost and replaced by new deserts. Places that are normally cold, such as the Arctic, will become warmer. Severe storms may occur more frequently. Plant and animal life, including that of human beings, will become severely affected. It is therefore important to reduce air pollution in order that the Earth can regulate its temperature to support life and support it well. There are various ways by which we can reduce air pollution. These are choosing and using eco-friendly products that do not emit or contain very little amount of known pollutants, planting more trees, avoiding smoking, using public transport instead of individual vehicles so that the amount of gases that are released by vehicles is reduced, ensuring that cars, gadgets, and other appliances that emit some form of gases are well maintained at all times. Mulching or applying compost leaves and yard waste on plants can also prevent the emission of harmful gases from the surface of soils into the atmosphere. Consider using LPG as fuel instead of burning charcoal or wood when cooking. Avoid burning leaves or other solid waste materials as they release harmful air pollutants into the atmosphere. This brings us to the end of our lesson on air pollution. Goodbye.